Okay, my friends, this is Roger, Mudfossil University. Talked to my friend Gil Headley about Oumuamua, whatever it is this asteroid comet which is in outer space, and Harvard says it may be an alien device. Well, here's what I say. Okay, my friends, I got an email back from my very, very good friend Gil Headley, who owns his own autopsy workshop, practices around the world. He owns his own school, and he teaches everybody around the world. And he watched the video on the finger thing that I'm claiming. He says it's the fingeriest looking space finger out there. Now, he said don't ever claim him as saying one thing specifically if he doesn't touch it and have all the other tests done. Now, all my giants and stuff, I had DNA certified. He said, yes, they look exactly like human anatomy. Now, that doesn't mean he says they are human anatomy. He said they look exactly like human anatomy. That's what it is. Now, the same thing with this finger. Now, and he says the fingeriest looking space finger out there. He's just dissected 20 fingers in the last month. He says it looks a heck of a lot like a finger. And you know, he's never going to make the statement it is or it isn't. So take it from there. Okay, my friends, that is a finger. And this is, they have a hole in the end. It has a hole on the side, a hole on the end, I'm sorry, and the hole on the sides. Exactly like this fingertip does, which is eroded more than that one is. But these are the way they blow the holes out on the sides for where the arterial blood was, and on the end where the arterial blood was. This is a fingertip. And if you could see that black pattern right there, very hard to see because it's been here for so long, but this is a distal phalanges. There's a pattern right there which is called bone black, and that's what happens when bones leak their iron oxides out, and they turn black. There was a time that was just almost black as could be, but you know, of course, time goes on, and that's what happens. Now, let me show you what that, and then of course, here's the end, has the vein and artery in here. Veins don't blow out. You see, that's what a vein is. But there's two spots here and two spots here. Let me show you the anatomical, because what happens is the blood feeds up, and then it blows out, it goes out through the back. This would have been like this, much, much bigger. If you could see boy, you're going to have a hard time seeing it. You see that? Maybe you can. You see that little right here? That's where the bone was. The bone is in here. It's actually in there, but it's mud. I mean, they turn to the... They get invaded. It's called nucleophilic substitution. Whatever this organic material was, and it depends on what the watery substances that it's in and what they contain. If it's close to the heart, they have a ton of metals. If it's close to the kidney, they have a lot of salts. If it's near the stomach, they have acids. This is the nature of, you know, and if it's below this, it's going to be extremely deteriorated, just like this one. And its other finger is this one right here, from the same hand. And I'll show you the hand too, and I'll show you the grip skin coming off of the hand. That's the other finger. Now again, Gil Hadley looked at these things. He said they look like human fingers, and that's all he would say, and that's all I asked. And I had a DNA CAT scan and everything, so there really is no question, but I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. Now again, there's the hole on the end. There's right there. You see that? That's almost identical. If I had it like this, there it is. And then on the ones on the sides, and then if you look down that hole, inside, it's a huge cavity. It could be this one down here. It's one on one end or the other. Because it's just a gigantic artery that runs all the blood down, and then it swooshes all through and comes back out the vein, back up to the heart. All right, I hope you can see these. You got to sort of have the right kind of eyes to see them. But you see what I say, hole and hole? There's clusters. You see those round little ball clusters? If you could see those and understand what's going on there, those are anchors. There's an anchor, and then straps run to this other anchor. That's what pulls your fingers around. There's another hole here. There's another hole on the side. I showed you the hole on the side. This is it right there. Boom. And there's another spot over here that didn't blow out. This one blew out, and the one on the other side over here didn't blow out. And then the one on the end is here. It's not, there's no mystery here. And they could easily sample this and find out, you know, I mean, you could go inside these holes and dig in and then go into the sides and you'll find fresh material. I'm telling you, it lasts forever. Maybe that last part you didn't see, but there's the hole on the side, which is this. It's right here. There's the hole on the side, and then there's another piece of the finger that would have been back here. They just come apart. They're bones. They bone to bone. And you can see it's actually a bone. Very, very hard to miss this. And then the one on the end. Now, I showed you these holes and the hole on the end. That's what they do. Let me show you my logo, and then we'll go a little deeper. All right, the blood comes up through the artery, and then it comes back from the vein. Now this is also a return from the vein. They use one to come back. Then this is the artery on this side, and the vein comes back this way. The artery comes up this way, the vein comes back this way. So there's two spots on, see these? Boom, 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 boom. You may have a hard time seeing, but you can see right on the edge. They're right on the sides. Now, one of them is going to be the vein, one of them is going to be the artery. The artery pumps the blood, pump, 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 pump. The vein goes, well, when you die, your blood, you know, these arteries just let it go. And it depends on the position your body's in. If your body's this way, it'll blow out. This was down this way. And that's why this is so eroded, too. Because this is the twin to this one. And this one was high up. And I'll show you the rest of the hand. I have the rest of the hand. And I have knuckles and all kinds of stuff. Now, this one was way eroded down below, and that's why it's all run out and exploded out through. The blood ran down. All right? And that's what happens. 2 on and 2. And 2 at the tip. See, there's the tips. Now that is the hand that these fingers came from. This one here, and like I said, one side was way down. I don't know which one. Well, I guess it must have been this way, because this is the thumb that was up on this side, and this must have been like the little finger or something way off to that side. I don't know. But this one eroded a lot. And then you have this here, hold on. This is one of the tendons that runs down one of the fingers there, and it was laying flat like this, and eroded all the way off this way. Well, actually off this way. And this is the bone ball that is what's left over after the erosion. And this side was still a little bit higher up and kept its muscle. You see, it kept the muscle on here. This right here, that's a tendon. See that run down like that block looking thing? That right there is a tendon that runs right down like one of these to run up to the finger. This is just exactly what it is, and I have all the evidence to prove it. And it's been DNA certified, CAT scan, and Gil said it sure looks like a hand. And if you can't tell that looks like a hand, I don't know what you're looking at. Now, you see this right here? That's the grip skin. That's the skin that's fallen off of the fingertip of that one that's in space. This is what it is. Now, the other thing they said is this is deeply red colored, and you know, except for the tip of the finger. All right, one more time, don't you forget. You see these little round anchor spots? The same thing down here, anchor, anchor, anchor. All right, take your time and look. That's the break between the finger. One piece, one piece. That's the hole up here. You see these little boop, 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 boop? There's another set of them right up here. That's where the tendon straps across to make that fingertip do what it does. There's another set of them back here and another set of them back here. Every single finger has, well, let me show you the anatomical, and it'll be quite obvious how it's going on here. All right, let's start right here. If you could see in each one of these bones, there's a bunch of little tiny holes. Those are what we were looking at. A bunch of little tiny holes, little tiny holes. That's where the tendon balls anchor, and then another one sets up here and another one sets up here. That's exactly what we're looking at. Now, the tip of that is what's called an apical tuft. This is that apical tuft. It sits right on the tip of the finger. right there is the best shot to see it. You see how they show them? That one right there is the best shot to show this. Sits exactly like that. And those balls go in all of these little holes all over the whole thing, and then they run back to make your finger be able to do all that stuff. Now, this is the tip that I was talking to you about before, the apical tuft. This is the piece that runs right off the very end, just that very end piece. You see it? Now, the piece that I was talking about, and again, I doubt if you can see it, there's a black pattern there, and this is exactly what that black pattern is. And I showed you the blood blows out on the side. There's the artery blood blowing out on the side. That's what that black pattern is. Now, if you turn it around this way, and you can see, you could look at it, you can see it. It's exactly identical. Zero difference. There's not a thing difference in the anatomy. There's not a thing difference in the makeup of this. This is clay. This is red clay. Red clay is literally flesh, and it's sand and clay and ferrous oxides, and it's just what it is. That's what happens when your body gets invaded in mud conditions. You see all these little holes too? Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. See all those little holes? The same thing there. There's all these little anchors, anchor everywhere. That's the only way they can pull these things back and forth, so you can do all that stuff. People don't understand what's going on in the body, and they just look and they go, oh, it just all happens. Well, there's a lot of intricacy here. And Gil Headley, my good friend, who is the top anatomist in the world, I don't care what anybody says, as far as the fascia goes, he is the man. I worked with him 10 years ago, and he was the best then, and he is a cranium and clavicle above all in that field, trust me. Okay, this is a video I just did, I think it was yesterday, the day before. Harvard speaks about aliens. And I don't see any reason to go through the whole thing again, so I'm just going to show you. These are the balls that we were talking about that are locked in those bone spots. You see a bone here, they snap, and then that's what allows these bones to work together. Now, then I'm just going to play this. Act with other bones, like in your finger. They lock in with these balls, and then a strap, and then another set of balls. You see here? Let's see if we can find that. Okay, my friends, I'm just going to tell you right now, straight out, that is a finger. It's a comet or an asteroid or whatever. I don't see any reason to belabor this. That's one of those balls. And these are those little holes in it. That's where anchors. Straps run down to this one. That's where that one anchors. This one anchors right up here. And it runs back to there where it anchors. That is how your finger works. That's where that apical tuft is at the end, right here. That's this. It's exactly that. I have every detail to show this. That is the grip skin. That's the actual fingerprints. This is the basement layer below the grip skin. I think I showed you that. I'm going to show it to you again just in case I didn't. And this is where you have your blood supply, black and red blood. This is ripped right off, right here. That's ripped. It's like somebody ripped that right off your hand. This is the anchors that run down your fingertip. That is the tendon right there that runs to the tip of your fingertip. This is the tendon right here that runs back and forth from those two anchors. You should watch that other complete video I did the other day. It gets pretty deep into the anatomy, but let me just finish up with this. Okay, shown this many times. That is a giant fingertip, about 3 feet long. It's in my yard, on my property. That is the bone right in the back. That, I believe, is the blood supply that runs over to the vein and the artery. This is where the fingernail was, right there, just exactly like that. And it just separates away because the finger, just like you, the fingernail isn't part of your skin. Now, what happened, this is the fingerprints. That's the fingerprints right there. And I'll show you the grip skin. It's not hard to understand. This is what's called grip skin. It's thick as hell, and it peels right off. It's like almost like Velcroed. All right, that's the grip skin. That's my fingerprints off of the one I had right here. You see the little sweat pores? And these are the fingerprints. There's the sweat pores. There's the fingerprints. This peels right off like it was stuck to like there with like Velcro. I'm not kidding you. I showed you on my palm. It just peels right off. And this is like dense with silicone, I believe. This is keratinized cells. And then you get down to your sweat glands and all this other stuff where you have your red meat, which is your red flesh is down below. Above it is a real, they call it feldspar. It's a real fabric-y looking stuff. And it has a lot of fibers and grippy things in it. Okay, my friend, I've shown you all these things, and at this point, I don't know what else to do. I know there's a bunch of talk shows and things. I've tried to contact all those people, then nobody's ever contacted me back. Oh, contact this one, contact... No, I'm done with that because then nobody contacts me back. Somebody contacts me that's a valid... You know, I don't want to go on these insane things about, you know, I don't want to get into any of the insanity, but I just want to go on one of these, you know, alternative mainstream ones. And there's a lot of big names there, but nobody will contact me back. And Scott Walter's still running away from his mistakes and still claiming that I'm wrong last week. It's really, I'm just frustrated as hell. Let's go with that.